private source actually told me that you don't know how to detach and also that you don't know how to let go. And on top of that, people are telling you, if you want to detach, you also need to stop feeling your emotions. And I'm here to tell you that this is not true and a complete lie. I'm gonna teach you what detachment actually is and that you can feel your feelings at the same time as well. Hello divas and welcome to So Savage Podcast, where we talk about mindset, self-development, soul cooking, and basically how to step into the best, highest version of yourself. So if you'd like to hear more podcast episodes connected to this topic, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we're posting every single week. Also, before the first point, guys, I've noticed that on the camera my hands are looking completely white. Meanwhile, my face is like orange, but when I put my hands like up, they're orange as well. So I don't know what's with the lighting, but I was checking my makeup and it's fine. Okay, so don't be writing me in the comments that I did my makeup not in the proper way and that I don't know my makeup skin tone or something like this. I always make sure that my tone of skin is matching with the makeup that I'm wearing, but again, I don't know what's wrong with the camera. I don't know what's wrong with the sun today. Hard to say, but anyways, we're gonna start with the first point, and here I'm gonna explain you what is not detachment. You've probably heard many times what detachment is, and we're gonna talk about it in the next point, but probably no one ever told you what the detachment is actually not. So I'm here to tell you. Detachment is not about avoiding, completely cutting off your emotions, because by that, you're literally avoiding your human being nature. Your emotions were given to you for a reason. You're supposed to feel your emotions, okay? If you're someone who is sensitive, who is emotional, please don't be listening to people who are telling you that in order to detach that you should stop feeling your emotions. That's bullshit, okay? People who are saying this, they're literally telling you to embrace avoidant attachment style. They're telling you to become a person who is emotionally numb. But if you start being emotionally numb, you stop experiencing not only the bad emotions, but also the emotions that we label as good emotions, such as joy, feeling grateful. And again, we don't want that. We want to be feeling our emotions and experience our life fully with our emotions, but also being detach at the same time. So what detachment actually is? Detachment means that you're not attached to anything, but you're always open to experience everything, except some things that you maybe don't like. For example, I don't like biking. I'm also scared of biking, a little fun fact. But if there is something connected to it, I just know that I don't need to be experiencing that. That's another thing. Detachment is also about having the power within yourself, knowing that the power lives within you. You're not putting any expectations, any power on the external resources. This can be any human being or material things. You feel your life to the fullest, you love to the fullest, but you're not trapped in the connection to something external. That's what detachment is. I'm gonna give you a little example with the strings. Imagine that a person walks into your life. There is gonna be connection between you. Both of you are holding a string. However, the person that you met, they decided they don't want to be holding the string anymore, so they stop holding it. And in the moment, you could be attached to it and you might be just like, oh my god, the person doesn't want me, like what's happening, what's wrong with me? And there is nothing wrong with you. That's when you're not detached. That's when you're attached. And that's the first way how you could possibly do it. And not the best way, and not the way as we want to. The second way how you can do it is that you're not gonna be feeling anything. You're just gonna be like, oh, this connection was meaningless. This connection was nothing to me. I don't wanna be feeling this connection. This connection didn't carry any worth. It did not. That's not detachment. That's when you're being emotionally numb. And then the third point, that's the actual detachment, what I'm gonna tell you. You're just like, okay, I felt something for the person. I enjoyed the presence of the person, but I'm also okay if they decide to go and not to be here with me anymore. That's detachment. You are okay with the fact that you felt something and that you had lovely connection with a person. In this case, we can say that it was romantic connection, let's say. But you're also okay with the fact that it ended. That's detachment. You're okay with letting go, but you're also okay with experiencing the connection. You are okay and happy and more than open to experience life fully. That's what detachment is. But maybe you actually don't struggle with detachment when it comes to romantic relationships. Maybe we talk about friendships. Maybe we talk about money. Maybe we talk about any sort of materialistic things. And you can have relationship connection not only to human beings or animals, basically to anything that is alive, but you can also have connection, relationship, attachment style to physical things, such as we mentioned, money or books, furniture, anything that you basically like and have any sort of connection, relationship, attachment style to it. And speaking of attachment styles, there are 4 main attachment styles. Firstly, we have anxious attachment style, and it's very needy, clingy, highly emotional, and you might be seeking a lot of reassurance. The second one is avoidant. That's connected to feeling distant, avoiding your emotions, but also avoiding closeness. Basically, you're trying to get rid of or avoid any sort of vulnerability. The third one is disorganized. That's literally the combination of the avoidant and anxious attachment style. You're just switching between them. And then, of course, we have secure attachment style, which is the best and the only attachment style that we actually want. And that's the attachment style that screams confidence, knowing your self-worth, giving to yourself whatever you need to. Ask yourself, in what area do you struggle to detach? If we talk about romantic connections or friendships, family connections, or if it's more towards physical stuff such as money, having the job of your dreams that you want, having the lifestyle of the dreams that you desire to have. Wherever you struggle to detach, ask yourself what attachment style is actually there, because this is gonna help you so much. Also, it could get you a little bit into the past and where it's coming from, because so many times it is actually coming from our parents or from our past experiences, for example with our classmates or childhood friends, or I don't know, that we saw something in the magazines or something on the internet. Maybe this is gonna bring you some sort of old memory and you're just gonna be like, oh well, but at the end of the day, this is just a memory. Just because I saw it on the internet, that doesn't mean that it's true for me. And that doesn't mean that I need to have any sort of attachment, connection to it like that. But also, when we talk about detachment, you always need to come back to yourself. And in order to come back to yourself, you need to build a strong base first as well. What do I mean by that? You work on the relationship with yourself first. Very important point. Get it written into your mind. If we go back to the string example, that person stopped holding the string and they left your life. And in order to be okay with that, you need to be okay with coming back to yourself always. You need to have a really strong base, because that base is gonna get your back every single time. Also, so many of you guys want to detach and you want to learn how to do it, but then usually it's not about the fact that you don't know how to detach, or sometimes it's not even not about the misinformation. You actually know what detachment is. However, since you don't have the strong base, you have nothing to come back to. If you imagine a house that's being built, the people who are building the house, they cannot start with the rooftop because that would not make any sense. They could not put the rooftop onto the base because they don't have the base. They need to start with the floors, afterwards with the walls, and then slowly they can put the rooftop onto it. That's literally the same. You need to build the base first within yourself, and then you can start slowly applying the detachment. And sometimes people don't want to hear that, so that's the reason why I'm telling you that. Fact. Gonna be very honest with you guys. I'm not really good at sugarcoating. So anyways, what does it mean to have a strong base? You feel confident by being yourself. You also know your standards. You know your boundaries. You know how people can treat you. And you know when to say no. You do not people please. You also know the importance of self-care, and you are including it into your life. And we talk not only here about the physical self-care, but also mental, emotional, and energetical. Also, you know about the things that make you feel like you. We can be talking about hobbies, people who you're surrounded by, and they just bring you joy because they have great energy, they are supporting you, they're just great friends, great family members, or that you have a great partner. If you know all these things, and if you can apply all those things into your life, that means that you have a strong base. By that, I'm also not saying that you need to have XYZ friendships. You just need to have the base that is quality based. That sentence was kind of weird, but we really go here for quality, and that you prioritize yourself first. Everything always come back to you every single time. And guys, I'm also someone who struggled with detachment for a really, really long time, especially when it comes to romantic connections and going on dates. I was someone who was very shy when it comes to meeting guys and going on dates, dating, and so on. And also as a kid, I used to have very anxious attachment style towards my friends. Then slowly during the time, it turned it into the secure attachment style when it comes to any of my friendships. I absolutely love it. So let me just tell you some of the things that really helped me to detach. I take life as a soul experience. I truly believe that I'm here on this earth to experience life, not to be suffering here. I also feel that so many of you guys sometimes choose suffering instead of living life fully. And of course, there are the situations which are not making the life the easiest, and I fully and completely understand that. But if you have just, the situations when you're kind of gaslighting yourself that the things are not the best, that there is like nothing good to experience, trust me, there is. You just need to have the belief, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that there are always things, great things that you can experience in life. I'm gonna give you a little example and also a little homework. Right now, when you're sitting in your room, take a look around yourself and what you have there, and name 5 things that are bringing you joy. I specifically named your room because in your room there are gonna be things that are bringing you joy, that are bringing you some sort of satisfaction, I don't know. And also say the reason why. For example, over there I have so many books and there is one connected to astrology because I love astrology. So what I would say is that I am grateful and I'm happy that I have this astrology book because thanks to that, I've learned new things connected to astrology. Do literally the same because in the moment it's gonna help you to see some sort of light and that not everything is only so dimmed and negative. So give it a shot and try it by yourself. And the reason why we're saying this sentence because this is gonna give you the feeling of gratefulness and the realization of the fact why you're happy and grateful for the fact that you have it and why it actually brings you joy. Another thing that truly helped me was that I do not own anything forever. And you've probably heard that. And it makes sense. All of us are gonna die one day. But also, I will never ever fully own my face, my body, basically my physical self forever. I'm gonna leave it here on this earth, underground, or I'm gonna get my body buried. I don't know, I was not really thinking about that. But the only thing that you actually own is your own soul. There's nothing more, anything else. Your soul always stays with you forever. You cannot change that. But anything around you, including your physical self, is actually never ever gonna be fully forever completely yours. And of course, I cultivated a very strong relationship with myself. I believe that the relationship that I have with myself is really healthy. Of course, there are still some things that I'm working on because I'm a human being and I'm not perfect. From the last episode, you know my thoughts about perfectionism. If you haven't seen it, you can go and check it out. But yeah, I always let myself being open to say like, okay, this needs improvement, and being okay like, hey, we need to work on this. Life is practically never-ending journey as long as we're here, of course. And that's the way how I treat myself. That's the way how I treat the relationship with myself, because I always want to feel like the best version of myself, not like the perfect version of myself. We don't like perfectionism here, but I always want to feel like the best version of myself and to be always improving. And that was also the last tip and the last point of this podcast episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it. If you'd like to see more stuff connected to self-development, soul cooking, and so on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to see a little bit more from my own life or something connected to beauty, fashion, a little bit from my own life, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok. I would love to see you there. Otherwise, I'm just gonna see you the next week.